So I want to welcome everybody to the ChampionsWay Work Smarter, Not Harder Auto Email webinar. We're going to talk about automated emails today within the Perfect Mind system. So last webinar we did, or I should say I did, was on attendance and retention, and we had a lot of questions about automated emails. So what we promised to do was to do an actual webinar on nothing but automated emails. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. So the one thing with automated emails, if you're not familiar with exactly what they are, automated email is triggered by a criteria. When I say a criteria is when something happens, it triggers an automated email. So example, it's somebody's birthday, the system automatically sends them out a happy birthday email. And that's a real simple one. We're going to talk about those and a lot more today. So time, that's what we're trying to do here with automated emails. Essentially what ends up happening is it's all about time. Time is money. What is your time worth? And that's really the thing here. I mean, we were talking about Sensei Nick's webinar on Mr. Marketer. You have over 217 automatic emails that are in there. Imagine the time it would take to set something like that up. Now we're not going to get into it, to that extent today. But we want to set up some automated emails that are going to save you time and ultimately save you money. Make your life a little bit easier. So can you do something else to bring more value to your school and students? A lot of this is about retention as well. It's checking in with students. It's nurturing leads. All of this can be automated in the system. So, I mean, one of the key components here is making sure that your check-in emails are going out and not relying on, say, for instance, staff error is really the big thing. Automate your communication with your students, your leads, and your former students. Right down to former students. You can have the system actually automate emails to send out to a former student, say when they have left for, say, 3 months, to try to maybe, sway them to come back. So it's make it personal, okay? What the system does is it actually merges in information. Things like first name, last name, it's actually going to merge this information in. So rather than these to whom it may concern emails that you've probably seen, you've probably received, this is going to say hello Sam, hello Donna, just a reminder, or happy birthday Donna, happy birthday Sam, and so on. It'll actually merge this information in. It can merge in a ton of information. We're going to be talking about that today. When I say merge, it actually takes the information from your student or from your lead and actually personalizes the email. So say, for instance, if you wanted to have a congratulations, you've been a client of ours for 6 months, you can actually have that information on there. The system will know to automatically merge in 6 months and so on. You can have information like purchase date merged onto the email, invoice due dates, and we're going to talk about that one. That's a big one that actually I'm going to show you how to set up, birthdays and more. So what if your staff forgets? And this is something that's really key with me. My history, I ran a fitness club and a kickboxing school for 7 years. One of the big things that I had that I wanted my staff to do was to follow up with new members. And the one thing is it rarely happened. It was one of those things that you just cannot rely on staff. And you may have a very reliable staff, and that's fantastic. But I'd say for the majority of us, we want to make sure we can eliminate the human error here. Make sure that it gets done. It's like a safety net, an automated email. So say, for instance, if we're talking about a 2-week check-in for a brand new student and you want to make sure it gets done, well, yeah, we want to make that phone call, but the phone call is always going to be a lot more appreciated after the email. And should that phone call not happen, well, the automated email is our safety net. At least somebody's checking in, so we get a reply from that student. 246, if anybody's not familiar with that, 246 means you check in with a new student 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, and 6 weeks in. That's the danger zone. And that's what we've always said here at Champions Martial Arts, the martial arts school we have here in Vancouver. 6 weeks is the danger zone for a student. You want to make sure you get them past the 6-week mark. So that's why we're checking in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, and 6 weeks. And like I said, the system will automatically do the check-in for you, and you can automate it. We're going to show you those emails today. Keep your personal touch as the face of your organization. It's always one of these things, you don't want to sign it from Jim's Karate School. And this is one of the things I've always stressed. Sign it from you. If you're Jim Smith from Jim's Karate School, say from Master Instructor Jim Smith, you want your personal touch on these, and that's really one of the key factors. It means a lot more to a new student when they get an email from the actual master instructor himself. So we'll talk about that again too. So automated emails. What kind of automated emails can you set up? We're going to be talking about several today, and there are unlimited amounts of emails. Like I said, like Mr. Market, for example, has 217 automated emails set up in that system. We're not, going to talk about that many, but we're going to talk about some essential ones that I think all schools should have. Say, for instance, welcome new students. This is an email that goes out right away. So as soon as you enter a lead in the system will automatically, send out a welcome email. Or when a person joins up and signs up and becomes a student, the system automatically sends out a congratulatory email to the new student welcoming them to the school. Now, the idea behind these emails is, before they even get home, they can check their email and they see that you've already sent them something, and the system automatically does it for you. Warm up a new lead. This is all about lead nurturing. So if you haven't heard the term lead nurturing, you need to keep your leads engaged. So should somebody enter in their information on your website, you want something instantly going out to that lead, thanking them for entering in their information and giving them some brief information about the school and letting them know that one of your staff will be in touch with them soon. Likewise, you can have the system nurture them 7 days down the road or 14 days down the road. Keep them engaged. Keep reminding them that they were interested in joining the school. Happy birthday emails. Happy birthday emails is a given. You want to have an email go out to all of your students on their birthday, wishing them a happy birthday. But the one thing that we really stress here at ChampionsWay is setting up an email regarding birthday parties, promoting birthday parties. We're going to talk about when you should promote birthday parties. This is a big misconception. I deal with a lot of schools, in fact, hundreds and hundreds of schools. And a lot of them do birthday parties. And when you ask them when they promote their birthday parties, they generally tell you about a month out, and that's actually a mistake. And we're going to talk about that, how you should set up your birthday email promotions. Things like "We miss you." Now, "We miss you" emails are for your former students. So you want to nurture your leads, you want to nurture your active students, but you also want to nurture your former students. Because when your former students leave, they may come back. So the idea is, you're obviously not going to always remember to contact your former students and see how they're doing, let them know about promotions that you may be having at the school. But the one thing that you can do is you can set up Perfect Mind to automatically email those former students when they've left for, say, a period of 3 months or maybe 6 months and so on. Now, reminders. Reminders is a broad term because the one thing about the system is it can remind you of all sorts of things. And the big one that I have and that I'm going to talk about today is an invoice reminder. So we had a school that actually was a monster of a school. They did over $50,000 a month in billing. Their delinquency for the month was actually $150. So out of $50,000 in invoices, they had $150 in delinquent, which is actually just one student's payment. Now, a big factor in lowering their delinquency was a reminder email that they sent to all of their students, reminding them that their payment was due in the next 3 days. So the student instantly knows, oh, I got to get the money in the bank account. I got to have the funds on the credit card. We always say 3 days. 3 days gives the student ample time, or the parent ample time, to go in and make sure that those funds are there, ultimately reducing your delinquency. So, more ideas. We got lots for you, okay? You can increase pro shop sales with automatic emails. Have emails letting them know about specials that you're offering for your pro shop. And again, birthday parties are a big one. And we'll talk about when to advertise those birthday party promotions. Student referrals is a big one. So, I mean, ultimately, and it's like Sensei Nick said in his webinar, the number one way for a school to gain new leads, to gain new students is through student referrals. Ask the students who are happy if they know anybody that might be interested in joining the school. You have a gold mine within your school. So I talk to a lot of schools that say, for instance, you have 40 students or 30 students. Well, you can look at doubling your size by simply asking those students if they know anybody that's actually interested in joining the school. So it's, using what you have right in front of you. Beyond birthday parties, a big one is Parents' Night Out. For those of you who do Parents' Night Out, you can have the system send out email blasts, again, advertising Parents' Night Out, make it an event, lead generation, the whole works. Now, we're going to talk about a few things today, but one of the big ones is retention. Retention is a big thing with automated emails, and a big part of retention is making sure that your overall, your school's happy, your student base is happy. But another big factor is to make sure that your students are attending. So having the system automatically email a student who hasn't attended in 7 days is huge. That's the danger zone. If somebody doesn't come to your school for 1 week, that's where it starts, okay? Then it's 2 weeks, then it's 3 weeks, and then the parent or student starts to wonder what they're paying for. So you want to stop it right there, increase retention. So having an automated email stop it right at that point, as soon as somebody doesn't attend for 7 days, is huge. So what we're going to do, I'm going to get right into it. And I've actually got our system already set up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of the automated emails that I'd mentioned before. We're just going to get the system set up here, and we're going to get those automated emails that we're talking about. We're going to talk about the filters. And when I say filters, what I'm essentially saying is I'm filtering out all the people that I don't want to see the email. So everything starts with a list. So you need to create your list. So if you want to have, lead nurture emails or welcome emails or birthday emails, everything is ultimately going to start with your lists, okay? So we're going to talk about some of the ones that I was just mentioning to you earlier here. So everything with a list starts here. We're looking at our email tab. You'll notice that we have a new user interface that was released today. This is all part of Perfect Mind 4. Perfect Mind 4 will be coming out early next year, but this is the new user interface, so it's a lot easier to use. So everything starts with a smart list, okay? So when we have a smart list, what it is it's the list of people that you're sending the email to. So we're going to talk about these lists, and when you want to go to your smart list, you simply click Smart List. Okay, so I have these lists already created. And this this webinar is going to be recorded, okay? So all the participants are going to receive a recording of the webinar. So if you're worried about missing on these lists, you will be sent it. The other thing you can do is you can go to live training as well, and I'll explain how you access live training later. So if you're ever curious on how to create these lists, we do a lot of that in live training. We offer live training 4 times per day, Monday to Friday. So you can always jump in there and you can take one of those classes. So you see here you have lists that are already pre-built in. If you've clicked your smart list area, you'll probably have some lists that are already done, and some of you may have already created some. Now, the ones that I'm going to show you today are my favorites. I've been teaching classes, doing webinars with ChampionsWay for about 4 years now, and these are the ones that seem to always be the popular ones when we do them at our C-Way events or our training day events. So I want to talk about a lead nurture. Okay, so these are the ones somebody enters in their information on the website or somebody inquires at the school. They come down and they say, for instance, want to inquire about classes. They become a lead. You enter them into the system as a lead. Well, this then would be the email that we want to set out. Now, I want to show you how this list is created. And if you ever want to see these filters, you just go along here to edit. And now you can see the filters. So I call it lead nurture day 1. Okay, now my filters are contact type equals lead. So what I'm saying is this person is a lead. I'm saying contact became lead equals today. So what I'm saying is this person became a lead today. Now, based off of this, anybody that I enter into the system as a lead or anybody that comes through my website as a lead will fall into this category. Now, from there, what we want to do is we want to simply click Save here, and we're going to add the list, okay? So we would take this list, lead, nurture, day 1. We could put in a subject line, welcome, whatever you wanted to put in the subject line. A little tip you have merge fields. Okay, so we have these little pens here where you can merge in information. Okay, so you can merge things into the subject line, and you also have it over here to merge into the body, which we're going to talk about quite extensively. Okay, so here is where you're typing in your personal touch, okay? So you're essentially saying, hello, and here's where we can merge in their information. I click Merge Field, and from here I can put in first name. So now it's going to say hello, John, hello, Jim, hello, Samantha, and so on. So I can type in whatever I want to put in on this email. So generally, it's going to be something like, we really want to thank you for inquiring at our school. If you have any questions, any so on, and you can offer them your promotion and so on. Whatever you want to put in the body of your email. But you always want to put your personal touch on it as well. So I always say at the bottom of the email, you want to say, sincerely, Master Keith McGregor. something along those lines. But you always want to personalize it and merge in their first name. Okay, that means a lot to them. Now, again, this is automated, so you don't have to worry about sending this out. What we're going to do is we're going to get the system to set this up for you. So all you're going to do is go down. Now, you have the option to send social sharing. So these people are able to share it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on by simply clicking there. Now, the other thing here, though, is to automate the email. To have the email go out when the criteria is met, you simply select Send When Criteria is Met. Now, the delivery method is one time or every time the criteria is met. Now, in this case, it's not really going to matter. They're really only going to become a lead once. So it's not a big deal if you just leave it as one time, okay? If, say, for instance, you want to say every time the criteria is met, it means that anything that on that list, if that criteria is met, the system each day is going to send them an email. Well, obviously, this time it's just a welcome email for a new lead, so just leave it as one time. Okay, so the one thing here is in terms of the start date, the only thing you have to remember is it has to be in the future. When I say in the future, if right now it's 11:30, set it up for 11:35. 5 minutes in the future is fine. You know, so as long as it's in the future. So in this case, I'm just going to take it down to 12 noon. Now, an expiry date. This is when the automatic email is going to expire. So it's going to stop. So what I always do is I always set it up for 2 years in the future. I put 2015. Now, it will remind you one day before the email expires, so you can change that 2 days, 3 days, or so on. But the system will ultimately remind you when this automated email will stop. Now, from there, all you do is you simply click Send. Once you click Send, Perfect Mind takes care of the rest. Anytime a new lead comes into your system, Perfect Mind will automatically send this email out. Now, all your automated emails will be under this folder, under Scheduled. So should you ever want to stop them, you can go to your Scheduled folder and you'll be able to stop the automatic email should you not want to send it. And you obviously have a Sent folder and an Outbox folder for anything that hasn't gone out. Okay? So I want to take this a little step further here. And I want to talk about more lead nurtures. So that one is the lead nurture day 1. Now we have lead nurture day 7 as well that we can look at. And it's pretty simple. Once you have the one done, you can create all the rest. Now, these are smart lists, okay? So the one thing is you can pick today, you can pick this week, or in this case, you can say 7 days ago. The system is constantly looking for this criteria. That's what we mean by smart list. The system will always look for this criteria. So when I say contact became lead equals 7 days ago, well, we entered them into as a lead, or they came in through our website as a lead 7 days ago. So if somebody became a lead 6 days ago, today, tomorrow, they would automatically fall on this list because it's a smart list. It's always looking for this criteria. So again, once you create the one list, the rest of them are easy. Like the top filter is contact type equals lead because we only want to send this to leads. Contact became lead equals 7 days ago. And likewise, 14 days ago. Or you could do 21 days ago. And you want to have different emails. You don't want to send them the same email every time. So in terms of the actual content of the email, you're always going to want to change that up. Have something fresh. Send them a link to a video or something along those lines. Keep the lead engaged. Okay? And the system automatically does that for you. So what we want to talk about next, that would be the lead nurturing side of things. Let's talk about student nurturing. So a welcome email when somebody signs up at the school, okay? And we have that one right here. And this is a simple one as well. We're going to get into a little bit more complex in a little bit. Now, in this case, we say contact, created date. Actually, sorry, apologies on that. This is actually the filter. So if anybody's watching this, I'm just going to change this one. Contact equals active student. So contact type equals active student. Contact became customer equals today. Now, in terms of that, what it means is when you change somebody to an active student, you sell them a membership, there's a field on the contact page that says became customer, and it's a date field. So when that date field is populated, it's going to trigger this email. So essentially, anybody that becomes an active student today is going to receive this email. So again, you could just select it. And the welcome email is generally standard with every system. It's a list that's already built in there, so many of you might already have it, okay? And again, you could type out your email. Now, obviously, this is going to be one that's going to be welcoming them to your school. You would say, welcome, John, to Jim's Karate School, or whatever you want the subject line. But from there, again, you would type in the body of the email saying maybe congratulations or something along those lines. And then, again, we would merge in the first name right with the merge field. And we would type out our email and then, again, sign it from ourselves. From there, we would know we have to go down to send when the criteria is met. We checkbox, and what's the number one rule on the start date? It just has to be in the future. So just set it up 5 minutes from whatever current time. And the expiry date, from here, we want to put it 2 years into the future. So just make it 2015. Then from there, we would scroll up and we would simply click send, and the system would take care of it for you. Now, there's a few student nurture emails that I want to show you. And again, we talked about these. It's going to be the 246. And again, what's a 246? Well, we want to check in on the brand new student 2 weeks into their training, 4 weeks into their training, and then 6 weeks into their training. So that's what the 246, and I'm sure many of you know that, but just for those of you who don't, that's what it means. So Smart List. I have down here student check-in 2 weeks, okay? I have 4 weeks and I have 6 weeks. Now, obviously, if you can create the 2 weeks, it's pretty easy to create the 4 and the 6, okay? So I'm going to show you the 2 weeks. So from here, it's contact became customer equals 2 weeks ago. And again, this is a smart list. So if I became a customer 13 days ago, I'll trigger on this list and I'll trigger the email tomorrow because the smart list is constantly looking for people who meet this criteria. So in terms of this, contact type equals active student. That's a very important filter. And I'll tell you why, because you don't want to say, hey, how's training going to somebody who's not an active student? Okay, so they may have signed up, but a week ago they may have canceled right away. So always make sure contact type equals active student. Now, from there, we could select our list and again, set up the subject line and the body of the email and send when the criteria is met. So in terms of content for a student, 2-week check-in, you just want to see how's classes going? How are you making out? How's the quality of our classes? A lot of people are big in finding out, how do you like, the cleanliness of our school? You want information from them too. What your students can tell you about your school is huge, okay? And they may not be willing to offer that information otherwise, but in email, they may send it to you, okay? So again, in terms of, say, for instance, the smart list, if you can create the 2-week, then you can create the 4 and the 6. Pretty basic, because the only thing you're doing is you're changing one filter. Now, I just want to show you how this filter works. I say student became customer equals, now, and this is the big thing here. In terms of, say, for instance, setting it up, and you want to use the smart list, so you want to use a criteria, okay? You would go over here and click, sorry, not ignore year. We will get into ignore year. This little box here. Now, here I can choose a criteria. So in this case, I can say became customer equals, and I can say N weeks ago, and just change that to a 4. Now, number one rule here, and this is actually the most important thing, and we have this on the customer support line all the time. I set up an automated email, and then all these people got it who shouldn't have. And every time we check this, it's the same thing. They forget to add the criteria. Always add the criteria. If you put no criteria in there, you're essentially sending out the email to everybody. Okay? So what I'm doing when I say filters, I'm filtering out the people that I don't want to receive this email. So what I'm saying, somebody who is an active student who became a customer 4 weeks ago would receive this email. And again, if you wanted to make it 6 weeks, you'd simply change the 4 to a 6. And then you can create your 246 automated emails right there. So we talked about money and talking about the fact that your current student base is a goldmine. And how can you make the most of it? And I'm sure, once I show you this, you could think of several ways on how you could do it. One thing I do recommend, though, don't bombard people. When you start to bombard your students constantly, they'll start to ignore it. They may unsubscribe from the emails as well. So you have to be strategic in the way you do this. And that's the one thing, like Mr. Marketer, going back to Sensei Nick's webinar, their strategy is, bulletproof. They know when to actually hit the student up for a referral and so on. So be careful in the way that you actually do it. You don't always want to bombard looking for referrals. But I call this the referral program, and I'm going to talk about advanced filters. So I said I was going to get into more of these advanced style automated emails, so this is one of them. Okay, so from here, if we go edit, we want to look at this. Okay, what I'm saying is the contact type equals active students. So I'm only looking to get a referral from my active students. Now, contact became customer equals 90 days ago. Why 90 days ago? Because he's been there for 3 months. He or she's been there for 3 months. They're happy because, and I'll tell you how I know they're happy, the contact attendance rating equals A, contact attendance rating equals B. Now, this goes back to the retention webinar that I taught last week. Okay, A, B, and C students. Your A students are the ones that attend regularly, generally speaking, twice per week. Your B students are the ones that come not so regularly, but generally once per week. Now, your C students are the ones that are in danger of canceling. So the ones that are coming less than once per week. And we talked about that extensively in that previous webinar. But A and B students are the ones that you're looking for referrals, because these guys and girls are coming on a regular basis. So you know they're happy. So the one thing here down below, and this is the most important part, is you have what's called advanced filtering. I can't be an A and a B student, okay? I'm either or. So in this case, my first two filters, 1 and 2, contact type equals active student, and contact became customer equals 90 days ago. So 1 and 2. Then I put and I put a bracket here, okay? 3 or 4, because I can't be both an A and a B student, so I'm either an A or a B student. Okay, when you're setting these up, sound it out. Does it sound right? I am an active student and I became a customer 90 days ago. And I am also an A-rated student, or I am a B-rated student. Sound it out. These will always help you, okay? So like in terms of this, we have content. If anybody's ever interested in content, we can help you out with that. We do have some content that we can give you. One that I like for this, right? I always say, like, subject line you could say is, free trial for your top 5 friends. And I say, like, hello, first name, you've been training for 3 months. We know you're going the distance and striving to become a black belt. Believe it or not, most people who start martial arts training quit within the first month. We basically congratulate them. Hey, you've been with us for 90, days. You've been with us for 3 months. You're attending regularly. But then you're going into sort of the referral side of things. So now you're saying, okay, well, one of the best things any student can do is tell others about our program. We would greatly appreciate it if you would refer 5 of your friends that would be interested in getting a 30-day free trial. And always say at the end, if you're not interested, we completely understand. But 5 friends. Why do you ask for 5? Because likely you're not going to get 5, but you might get 2. Okay, they're giving you leads now. They're giving you potential members. So they're happy about it. They're proud about it. They're happy they're taking martial arts. They're attending regularly, so they're content taking it. And the one thing is they're telling their friends now. And that's a good way to get it. So when you set up things like this, like the referral program, this is what I always generally recommend is you want to talk about, 5 people that they may recommend. So in this case, you'd set up your subject line again. You'd say, hello, Jim, and then you would type in the body of your email. And if you guys ever, are interested in content and so on, we have some basic content that we can always help you out with, okay? It's one of those things that we always keep kicking around. So that's the referral program. Now I'm going to talk about a little bit more of an advanced thing. This is one that I teach a lot at, Seaway events and training day events. And it's an invoice reminder. So we talked about that school that was doing $50,000 per month in billing. Like I said, it's a monster of a school. And we were going through their delinquent reports, and I was shocked to see there was only $150 in delinquent. It was one payment. They charged $150 per month, and one student was delinquent. Now, I'm not saying that this email is going to get you to that statistic, okay? But what I am saying is it's definitely going to reduce your delinquency, okay? And this is the email. Up here, you see campaign target in the top right. Well, everything we've been doing prior was based off the contact, okay? When I say the campaign target, I'm pulling information from the contact area. Okay, so now I want to pull information from a different area. Now, in this case, if I want to remind people of an invoice that's coming up, I need to pull my information from the invoice. So I select invoice. We just got to get rid of this one. And now I have access to a different area. I can access the invoice area. So when I click Smart List, I'm going to have different lists here, okay? Now, this is the one, invoice due in 3 days, reminder, okay? Now, these are the filters on this one. I click Edit on the far right, and here it is. Invoice status equals scheduled, okay? So the invoice is scheduled, okay? Invoice due equals 3 days from now. So we're saying the invoice is scheduled 3 days from now. Now, the transaction status is not equal to terminated, okay? Now, when I say that, you don't always have to use invoice. You can actually pull different areas. So this one is transaction. We go down to status is not equal to terminated, okay? Why terminated? Because if, say, for instance, somebody cancels but their invoice is due in 3 days, you're going to remind them that it's coming out, even though it's not. Okay, so that's the only one you have to filter out is the one that's terminated. You don't have to worry about completed because if the transaction is completed, no more invoices are coming out. But if the transaction is scheduled or if the transaction is active, that's fine. So always remember on these ones, transaction status not equal to terminated. Now there's no advanced filters here because all 3 of these criteria need to be met. So for those of you who are watching this right now, this is a big one. You might want to write this one down. But again, anybody who's attending this webinar right now, we will send you the recording of this so you're able to see all of these filters. Okay? So in terms of this, I can select my list, and again, I can put in a friendly reminder. That's what this particular school put in. A friendly reminder from blank martial arts school. I'm not going to say the name, obviously. Okay, but the one thing that you can do here is just say friendly reminder, and you can go and merge in just a friendly reminder that your invoice is due in the amount of, and you can actually merge in that information, okay, because it's merging information from here. So invoice, total amount. So here, prior to this, you just put in just a friendly reminder that your invoice is coming up in 3 days in the amount of and merge in total amount. Because obviously, as with most schools, not everybody is paying the same amount. But at least you're going to remind them of the exact amount so they're going to know exactly what they're going to have to put on their credit card or into their bank account. Okay? From here, again, you're going to go down and you're going to put send when criteria is met. You're not going to bother with social sharing on an email like this. Okay? Now, this email, you set it up automatically. Every time somebody's invoice is due in the system, 3 days out, the system will automatically send out this reminder. Okay? Now, some schools have done it 5 days out. 3 days is always the best time. I always say 3 days from now. 3 days, 1, it reminds them, and 2, it reminds them to go to the bank or go to their credit card, make the payment. Okay? Now, want to talk about retention. Okay? So we're going to take it back here. And we're going to take it back to the contact now as the campaign target, okay? And we want to talk about somebody who hasn't attended in 7 days. So that was really the big thing, okay? The big thing about attendance is if you don't attend for 7 days, chances are you're on your way to becoming a C student. And if we go back to the retention webinar, what happens with C students? Those are typically the people that are going to cancel next month. So you can have your people calling from the list. If you go to your contact list, that you see that view there, absent last 7 days. And ideally, you and your staff should be calling that list. And you should be taking attendance diligently. And that's actually a heads up on this one. Don't set this one up if your attendance isn't, diligent. Make sure that your attendance is going properly because otherwise everybody's going to receive this email. So if anybody is not taking attendance or if you missed that webinar, let us know. Give us a call or shoot us an email and we can send you a copy of the attendance retention webinar. So the one thing is to make sure that you are taking attendance before you set this one up. Now, we're going to go to the smart list. Now, from here, we've got this one right here. And it's no attendance in 7 days. So this is a simple one to set up, but again, you have to make sure that you are taking attendance, okay? So contact type equals active student, okay? Because obviously somebody who quits, they're not going to attend for 7 days. They're going to be a former student. They're going to get this email, okay? So make sure contact type equals active student. Contact last attended equals 7 days ago. meaning this person has not attended for 7 days. So, I mean, I think most of you can agree. Anybody that doesn't come to your school for a week, something's wrong, okay? Now, I understand a lot of people go on vacation. Okay, now if that's the case, they go on vacation. They say, "Oh, sorry, I was on vacation." Oh, okay, good. Disregard. Don't worry about it. Just send them a quick email. Some people say, "Should I filter out the people who are on vacation?" I don't think so. It's not the end of the world. You know, if somebody goes on vacation and receives this email. Okay, so from here, contact type equals active student. Contact last attended equals 7 days. We select our list, and we would type out our automated email. Now, in the subject line on this email, I generally speaking, what I've advised, just say, you know, Jim's Martial Arts School, and you say, "Is everything okay?" And then the body of the email is, "Hello, you know, Jamie. Hello, Samantha. Just noticed you haven't been in class in a while." Don't say 7 days. You know, don't say 7 days. Say, "I've noticed you haven't been in class in a while." Now, these emails are huge because, one, they start to think to themselves, "Well, wow, you know, they've noticed I haven't been in class. Maybe I should start going again." What I always put in the body is, "Hey, do you want to come in and have a quick chat?" Okay, you don't want to say, you know, just making sure everything's all right, have a great day. Okay, because the one thing about it is you actually want them to come in because there may be something wrong with the classes. Maybe they're not happy with the classes and you want to find out why. So in the body of these emails, I always say you want to make sure that, you know, you want them to come in and essentially talk to you. And again, you would send out send when criteria met, set it in the future, and then automatically set it up. So there's another retention email that's a real good one, okay? And this is something that we showed at the Seaway event. A lot of people had asked for this. And what it was when somebody becomes a C student. So again, this goes back to the attendance and retention. You have A, B, and C students, okay? So essentially what you want to do then is you want to contact or you want to have the system contact the student right away when they become a C student, meaning they haven't attended for a week. So we have this list set up as well. Now, this list is right here. Scroll down, my mouse is a little finicky. And became C student, danger, okay? So from here, this one, if we go edit on the right, these are the filters. Now there's a few filters in this one, okay? Activities created date equals today. Okay, now what ends up happening is when somebody becomes a C student, so they're a B student, they're coming once per week, and all of a sudden they don't come for a week, the system starts running its script, starts looking for those C students, they become a C student, it creates an activity on the contact, okay? So for those of you looking at a contact page and you're looking at, you know, one of your students, you see activities running down the left. Well, if you click those activities, you'll see an activity that says became C student, you know, attendance rating, okay? Now, the activity type is attendance rating, okay, because there can be several different types of activities underneath the student's account. So in this case, the activity created date equals today, activities type equals attendance rating. Now, again, you know, if you're writing this down and you miss something, we will send this out to you, okay? Contact attendance rating equals C. So what we're saying is the activity trigger was an activity attendance rating, and the contact is now a C-rated student. Okay, contact type equals active student, because obviously we're only concerned about the active students now. So what I'm saying is, and for those of you, and all of you should be, who track your A, B, and C students, you want to make sure that anybody who becomes a C student receives this email. Now, from there, body of this email would be along the same lines as the last one, okay? You're basically saying, hey, I've noticed you haven't been attending so regularly. Again, maybe if you have a moment, can you come in and see me at the front desk? And again, you want to find out exactly why they're not coming to class on a regular basis. So I got a couple more emails I want to show you guys, and these are the birthday party promotion emails, okay? So I'm going to show you how you set these ones up under the smart list. Now, again, we talked about when do you advertise your birthday parties, and a lot of people, like I've talked to, said about a month out. Well, that's actually wrong, okay? When do you advertise your birthday parties for your school? You advertise them the day of the birthday, Okay, you're not going to get them in the day of the birthday, realize that. But you're actually promoting it a year in advance. So you're letting the parent know essentially, you know what, we offer birthday parties, just an idea for next year. Okay, that's when you start promoting the birthday party. It's the actual day of the student's birthday. Now, from here, we have birthday party promo, day of. Filters here are pretty simple, okay? But the one thing is, and there's a trick to this, and everybody needs to know this trick if you're setting up birthday emails, okay? Contact type equals active student, okay? You may want to send this to your leads, and you may want to send it to your former students, and if that's the case, just remove that filter. This is the most important part. Anytime you set up birthday emails, contact birthday equals today, but ignore the year, okay? And I'll show you where this is. Contact birthday equals today. Now, that little checkbox, ignore year, you need to check that anytime you're dealing with birthdays. Because if I'm saying, you know, contact birthday equals today, well, that birthday is only going to come once, okay? And it's never going to come again. So it's going to be the day they were born, which is not going to help because likely they're not students at your school yet, okay? Always make sure that you select ignore year. And from there, you promote your birthday party. Okay, you wish the student happy birthday to Samantha and so on. Just letting you know, maybe an idea for next year, you know, at Keith's Karate School out in, you know, Los Angeles, we offer birthday parties, you know, so let us know. And, you know, put in a nice little, you know, image of birthday cake, something along those lines. It plants the seed now for next year, okay? So essentially what you're doing is all you're doing at this point is just planting the seed. Now, you have another one. Birthday promo, 6 months. Now, this one is 6 months away now. So they've planted the seed, and now 6 months, you're going to let them know, okay? So here we have contact type equals active student. Contact birthday equals 6 months from now. So I'm saying anybody that has a birthday 6 months from now, and obviously I have to ignore the year here, just ignore the year. Anybody who's having a birthday is going to receive this email. And then from here, again, you know, you're letting them know, hey, 6 months from now, Jim's going to have his birthday party. You know, why don't you have it down at our school? Now, here's the one where you're trying to actually close the deal. So you're saying birthday party 30 days, okay? Pretty self-explanatory here. Contact type equals active student. Contact birthday equals 30 days from now. So now you've reminded them again, if 30 days, if they haven't made plans for the child's birthday, now's the time to really push it, okay? Let them know about pricing, let them know what you're going to offer, the games, the activities, and so on. Really push it at this point and have that automated email going out. Now, again, these are automated, so you don't have to worry about it. Once you set them up once, your system is now pushing the birthday parties out for you, okay? So these are all taken care of for you. Now, what I want to do, I want to show a couple things here, like in terms of newsletters and so on. We do have a bunch of newsletters here that you can use. So anytime that you want to use these, like we have green, dark green, you can take a light blue newsletter, okay? And it actually puts this information in here. And you can just edit the information, you know, latest news, it says social site. You can put in your own logo here. You can put in your school name. And you can type in information. So we have a ton of newsletters that you can use and a ton of templates that you can use along the left. Okay, so if you want something that's a little fancier, we do offer those. Okay, and there's a whole bunch, and we're going to be adding a whole bunch more coming forward, okay? And social sharing is a big thing, right? I want to make sure, like when you're sending out, you know, those kind of emails, like say, for instance, congratulating somebody. You know, say, for instance, somebody's been with you for 5 years. You could have a 5-year milestone email. I always make sure, you know, say, for instance, click social sharing so that they can share that email. They can share it on Facebook or on Twitter or on LinkedIn. It's a big thing, okay? I can actually direct you to the live training, and I'm going to show everybody how to access this. Live training is something that our customer success team does. Our customer success coaches, myself included, take turns actually doing the live training classes. And a big thing that we do in the live training classes is email. Because a lot of you guys probably have questions regarding, you know, lists that you may want to create. Like those were just some samples that we had. So in terms of accessing live training, If you scroll down, go to ChampionsWay.com. You scroll down to the bottom here underneath support, there's an area called live training. And if you simply click it, from here, you can see the actual times that we offer live training. And again, it's Monday to Friday. And if you want to access it during these times, these are in Pacific Standard Time, you just simply click this link. And then from there, you type your name and you enter the room. And from there, you simply ask your question. You type your question. If you have a specific email list that you wanted to create, or if you have any questions in general about Perfect Mind, you can always jump in here, type your question, and the trainer will answer you right on the spot. Now, I'm a Perfect Mind client. Can I just get all those auto emails? Yeah, you can get them set up because, I mean, again, the best way to do, some of them are ready to go. But like I said, the live training is where we can set them up for you. So we can absolutely do that. Just go into live training and say, I need to set these up. And then one thing about live training, there's typically an average of about 2 to 3 people in the live training room. If you're the only one in there, which a lot of the times that's the case, if you're the only one in there, the trainer will actually call you direct and talk to you. Now, they may have to jump out afterwards if other people come into the room, but the one thing is they're always available to help set up all of the automated emails. That's a lot of what we do in the live training. Okay, is there a Christmas card to send to students? Absolutely. I mean, you can use it the newsletter and just edit the newsletter. You know, we have some seasonal newsletters in there as well. You can take a look, but you just have to edit the newsletters is what we generally do. Will Mr. Marketer have these things? Mr. Marketer has all of these. Mr. Marketer has that and 212 other ones. Mr. Marketer has everything, and it's all the content's done for you, everything's set up for you. They take care of all of it. Mr. Marketer goes a little bit beyond what we're doing, though. I mean, it's sending out actual landing pages. It's nurturing, you know, well beyond anything that I showed today. So, yes, absolutely 100% Mr. Marketer does all of this. Now, will the Save As feature be available? Save As, when you're creating the list, it's coming. Not this year, but it is coming. So that feature is definitely coming. So the sharing part for social media works for events as well. Absolutely, yes. If so, when will we get the download? It would be the next 7 days. Okay, wouldn't it be a bit redundant if we had both a 7-day notice that a student has not attended as well as an ABC? Yeah, you'd want to do either or. The one thing is say, for instance, and I'll tell you the difference. That's actually a really good question. Somebody hasn't attended in 7 days doesn't necessarily make them a C student, okay? Because a C student, it's looking at the past 30 days. So there is a difference. My personal opinion, you know, you can go either way, but yeah, you should do one or the other. Because likely, yes, they might meet both criteria. They may become a C student, and they may not have attended for 7 days. So in my personal experience, you set up one or the other. I actually don't have any questions. You did an excellent job explaining everything. I appreciate that. Thank you, Stephanie. Can you program PM to send birthday emails to only people with kids? You know, you could do that. What it would take is pretty much you could work it out, you know, by age. So, I mean, if, say, for instance, you just want to make the, obviously the kids, you could say, you know, contact type equals active student, contact age less than, say, for instance, maybe 10 years old. So, yes, you could filter it out. Who should I speak with to get a list of examples for auto emails and examples for content for the emails? Depending. Now, we have some basic content. So, I mean, we don't have the content to the extent of Mr. Marketer or anything along those lines. But live trainings where you should go to set up the actual automated emails. And if you want, you maybe can email support@championsway.com, and what we can do is we can send you some of the basic content that we have. Like that content that I told you about the referral program, that's one that we send out to our clients. But if you email support@championsway.com, we can send you some of the basic content. But definitely to set up the automated emails, I would go to the live training. Now, next question here. Are any of these available in the library as templates? There are a lot of templates in the library. There's a lot of, you know, content in the library. You just have to go through there. But I'm sure there's plenty of ideas in terms of automated emails or content that you could send out. With regards to the invoice email, can you have a filter that is for in-house contracts? Yeah, absolutely. You could say invoice processor equals in-house. Okay, so you can absolutely do that. Always remember, it's the processor. Invoice processor equals in-house. Where can I find all three? Where can I find all their templated filters? I'm not sure what you mean. Where do you find all the? Oh, okay, like the regular lists. There's ones that are pre-built in there. So if you click Smart List, you'll see a lot of the ones that are already pre-built in there, and then you click New, and you can create new ones. So there's no stupid questions. Absolutely, you can go in there and you can see some of those filters. Now, the ones that I created today, we're going to email them to you. Okay, so we're going to send out an email to all participants of the webinar, so you'll have all those filters, because I realize many of the ones that I showed today are not currently in the system. Okay, let's see. How do I automate a parent name on the email when the student is the contact name? We've done this before, like in terms of, say, for instance, if you ever want parent name on the contact page, you can contact us on, customer support, or even in live training. You can come in and you can actually add a field for the parent name. I've done that for several clients, and you can even have parent 1, parent 2, and things like that. We can add that on the contact page for you. That's very simple. It takes about literally 30 seconds. Are there templates in these type of filters like Mass used to have a bunch in documents? The templates, again, are on the left-hand side with the folders, like the newsletters and so on. Those are the templates we have. We're adding more to Perfect Mind. We have a whole bunch coming in the future. Did you say the new email setup is available today? New email setup. Well, no, it's a new user interface for the email. You'll probably notice, for those of you who logged in today, the contact page, the email page, the user interface has changed. And there's going to be all sorts of updates coming. This is all leading up to Perfect Mind 4, which is coming in the new year. So next question, are we allowed to use the newsletter template images for the edited newsletters? Absolutely, use them for whatever you want. They're yours. They're yours to use. When will we get that down? Okay, we've got that. How do we get to go about getting more content? More content than the basic stuff of what we have. Again, that kind of leans towards Mr. Marketer. We actually had an English major actually design all of our content for Mr. Marketer. Mr. Marketer would have all the content because all the content's done for you. All the filters and lists are done for you. They set up everything for you. If anybody's interested in Mr. Marketer, you can actually shoot me an email, keith.mcgregor@perfectmind.com, or just email customer support. Likewise, just give us a call as well. We were told using Chrome was a better program for Perfect Mind instead of using Internet Explorer, but we noticed when we're using Chrome, we cannot scroll through our email list and can only do so using Internet Explorer. Any idea why Chrome doesn't do this for? I'll be honest with you, I don't like Internet Explorer. I use Chrome, and I was scrolling through the list, so it could be something on your actual PC or Mac. What I would do is call the customer support line and have them look at it, because it shouldn't be a Chrome issue, because I was using Chrome today. Are there templates for how to improve sales on ProShop Online towards our current students? What we can do, we can actually set up a webinar on this topic if you'd like, because that's actually, we're looking for different topics. So what we can do on this is we do have a lot of material on that. Well, we're going to set up a webinar for that. I think we'll do that one in the new year. And hey, Rich, thank you very much. Good to see you here. I will do, Rich. And where do I find the library? The library is something, it's a service that we offer. So if you're ever interested in the ChampionsWay library, what it is, it's like a marketing library. It's got all sorts of advertisements, images that you can use, and you also have a lot of courses from Sensei Nick Doherty, like in terms of just, the basics of running a birthday party, even to running, how you run your classes. There's lots of information on there. Okay, could you just quickly show the filter for 7 days absent? I have a blizzard going on here, lost power 3 times. This is automated email. I thought I would set up properly. No problem. Actually, I'll show it to you right now, in fact. I'll tell you what. Let me just bring it over here. One moment. Okay, so in terms of absent last 7 days, again, go into the smart list. No attendance. Sorry, my mouse is real finicky. Last 7 days. And here you go. Contact type equals active student. Contact last attended equals 7 days ago. Always make sure, most important one on that is to include the active student, because your former students are obviously going to fall into this category if you don't add the filter contact type equals active student. So if we don't have any more questions, guys and girls, I'll say, actually we have one more, sorry. Where can I find definitions of perfect mind terms so I can understand which information I am filtering? There are a ton of filters items sometimes. The best way to do this is live training. That's what we do there. For those of you who haven't gone into live training, like I said, I teach a lot of the live training classes. Myself and Nima Jasby teaches these classes. Absolutely go in there. Anytime, this is a real heads up for everybody listening. If you're going to set up an automated email and you're concerned it may go out to the wrong people, check it with us first. The worst thing you can do is have your email go out to the wrong people. Okay, so if you have any concerns about that, that's a really great question because there are a lot of filters. I mean, Perfect Mind email system is one of the most powerful email systems out there. So it has a lot of options. So again, live training or call us on customer support. Just say, I've set up this list. Is this correct? And we'll absolutely check it over for you. Okay, that's how I have it set up, but it's still emailing people that are absent, that aren't absent 7 days. Any ideas? What I would do, I would call customer support. Let's have a look at it. Let's see if, say, for instance, if it is getting people that aren't, maybe there's something on the contact page. We'd have to look at it. Customer support for sure on that one. Let's see. How do I get family accounts linked? Family feature is something we do offer. We do have the family on the contact page. So that is a feature that we have added. If you want to get more information on that, because again, we get into an entire training session on that, let's go into the live training, or you call customer support. They can show you the new family feature. Okay, so this will be the last question, everybody. Does 7 days ago and last 7 days equal the same thing? Okay, here's the thing. Now that pretty much is the same thing. 7 days from now is different. Okay, now here's one of those things where you have to be careful with the filters. So 7 days ago and the last 7 days. Well, actually, last 7 days means, like, say for instance, I became a student in the last 7 days. Well, then they would receive that email each day. Okay, if I say student equals 7 days ago, well, then I'm only going to receive that email 7 days, from now or 7 days ago. So you have to be careful. Last 7 days is actually a little bit of a dangerous one because last 7 days means even the last 6 days or the last 5 days or the last 4 days. So in that case, no, it doesn't exactly mean the same thing. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. Like I said, starting in the new year, we're going to be offering a weekly webinar on different training aspects of Perfect Mind. From myself and everybody at ChampionsWay, we want to wish everybody a happy holiday to you and your families. Keep in touch with us through Facebook and just our lounge and email. And again, you guys have a great happy holidays, and we'll talk to you soon.